Story 1. I love the social aspect of drinking and meeting new people. I enjoy making a good cocktail at home with the perfect ingredients as much as I like cooking. Story 2. You don't drink alcohol for the alcohol. Everyone knows alcohol is bad for your body unless you need to thin your blood, I guess. Alcohol relaxes you and makes social situations easier. Other than that, beers and whiskey are for taste. Story 3. How it feels and how it reduces my extreme social anxiety. I hate the taste and have never actually enjoyed drinking any of it. It's all about getting as much down as quickly and smoothly as possible. Story 4. Being slightly tipsy is fun, and the only alcohol I drink is artisanal craft these days. I really like the rise of smaller local breweries around me, with tons of good choices. Story 5. I'm lonely, and alcohol helps me with my social inhibitions. It also makes me less anxious about doing mundane things to enjoy myself. When I'm sober, I might think about watching television for hours but not actually do it. When I'm drinking, I just watch the television. Story 6. I like the story behind it and the complexity of flavor that can be achieved by skilled craftspeople. For instance, I have a single vintage cognac that was harvested by a single family in the fall of the year I was born. It was turned into a dry white wine that fall and distilled. It aged in the barrel until the 1990s when it was bottled. It's very special to me because, as an adult, I enjoy the fruits of that family's labor. They worked that year to create a cognac that would eventually be consumed by a person that had just been born. Amazing. Story 7. I've been pregnant for the last 7 months, so no drinking for me. But I can answer why I miss it. In the last month, we've been in the process of adding a third bedroom to our 800-square-foot house. With an already small house getting smaller, it's been a long, ongoing project of selling furniture, getting new stuff that fits better, reorganizing, and decluttering. After a day where we've gotten a lot done and our toddler is finally asleep, I so badly want to just sit on the couch with my husband, have a couple of glasses of wine, and talk, laugh, and reflect on how our house is coming together. Of course, we can do that without alcohol, but we're usually both so burnt out at that point we just watch a show and fall asleep. Alcohol gives you a fun little buzz that can reinvigorate you for a little bit. I also love to drink wine while I paint. It makes the music more fun, and it makes my approach to painting a little more relaxed and enjoyable. Boy, I miss wine. Story 8. As a Mexican, I feel it's in my blood, unfortunately. Not only are my family alcoholics, but much of our music, celebrations, and traditions are brought together by alcohol. Our emotions are able to be expressed because we turn vulnerable. I drink when I'm sad. I drink when I'm happy. I drink when I'm angry. I drink to mourn. I drink to celebrate. I drink just to drink. It's comforting. I do not know if it's an oral fixation or what, but the action of taking a shot is soothing for me. Story 9. I don't drink alcohol much, and quite a few have different results for me, but I guess I'd have to say it's because it lowers my inhibitions and allows me to be looser than I usually am. Story 10. Reduces crippling social anxiety. I have horrific stage fright, and one of my friends has been begging me for years to do karaoke. I finally did it last weekend, but I had to get drunk to work up the courage. Story 11. Legal social lubricant. A few shots and I don't even know what social anxiety is anymore. Then some people get hooked. It's rough. It takes a lot of effort to not keep that feeling going. Story 12. I do not drink to get a buzz, escape, socialize, or any of that. I'll have a good bourbon every couple of months because I like bourbon. If they ever make non-alcoholic Buffalo Trace or Weller, I am investing heavily in that company. Story 13. I do not. Cars and driving are a special interest of mine, and I cannot drive if I have alcohol. The feeling is not great either, although I feel a bit left out at gatherings with my water or coffee when everyone else is having a beer or something. Story 14. Because it gives me temporary relief from my anxiety, lubricates conversation, and generally makes outings a little more fun. However, I am 1.5 years sober because the things I do not like far outweigh the things mentioned above. Story 15. It makes me feel good. Some of the best times of my life are just my friend and me getting drunk and listening to metal for hours. I don't do it often, so I don't think it's anything to worry about health-wise. Just a fantastic way to blow off the steam of adulthood in the modern world. Story 16. Beer tastes good. It also keeps me from eating sugary treats because beer is my treat. You can enjoy a tasty beer just because they are tasty, and the buzz is a bonus. Story 17. I like the warm, loose feeling of being buzzed. I'm also a bit of an introvert with mild social anxiety, and a couple of drinks help me enjoy social situations. The returns diminish rapidly beyond the buzzed phase. It can still be enjoyable, but no more so than being buzzed, so I seldom have more than 2 to 3 drinks in an evening. Story 18. I like how it silences your inner monologue. Sometimes I just need a break from its constant thinking. Also, not having the occasional thought that life would be better if you were dead really helps keep me happy. Story 19. I like the taste of a lot of it. A lot goes very well with food. I enjoy the weight I feel in my head. It's pleasant, and it mostly shuts up my internal nonsense. Story 20. It's not even so much that I enjoy alcohol, though I loosen up and get sillier. I'm normally very reserved, and with friends, it's fun. I don't like getting drunk, just a buzz, but genuinely more so, I enjoy the taste of different drinks and look at them like art forms, similar to food. If I could enjoy the range and quality of everything without the alcohol, I would. Fortunately, non-alcoholic beer and similar options are getting better. Shout out to Athletic Brewing Company. Story 21. Algorithm be algorithm NG, laugh out loud. It makes me feel numb for a bit. I just want to feel numb. But seeing that I vomited for the first time with alcohol tonight, I might need to reevaluate. What a revelation. Story 22. Because I hate myself and the world, and you specifically. I despise these constant questions from people who obviously don't understand the first thing about what it means to actually have an issue with yourself. If you sleep soundly at night, the morning is exhilarating, I suppose. If you can actually sit there in the safety of your little room and ask questions like this so earnestly, I genuinely envy you. Thank yourself every single day that you live in a world where you don't have to drink to deal with it all. The reality is like a Lovecraftian exercise in pain that you'll always be alien to. Enjoy it. It's all yours. Story 23. Rubbing alcohol when it hurts on the outside. Drinking alcohol when it hurts on the inside. Just kidding. 8 years sober after almost a decade wasted chasing the bottom of a bottle. Best decision I ever made. Story 24. I don't drink alcohol anymore because it doesn't mix well with my medication, but I like the craftsmanship and time that goes into my preferred whiskeys and how you could arrive at such a wide variety of flavors from the same limited set of ingredients. Plus, the social aspect of relaxing with fellow enthusiasts and discussing our favorite varieties that we brought while tasting them. Story 25. I'm a cautious drinker because, first, alcoholism runs in my family, and second, I just really don't like being drunk. That said, I genuinely enjoy the taste of certain liquors and other alcoholic beverages and have experimented a little with cocktail mixing. Also, after a hard day at work, especially if I'm off the next day, having just 1 or 2 drinks with or after a meal helps me relax more quickly, so I can get on with things I need to do around the house sooner or simply get better rest that night. Story 26. I do not like it at all. I do not like the taste. I do not like the effect. I tried it when I had it really rough. What I felt was the state of my body changed, but negative thoughts never left my head. So I figured, what is the point? Story 27. I've drunk 10 to 12 beers every day after work for the last 10 years. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to try my best to quit drinking on work nights. Wish me luck. Story 28. I don't drink a lot, but when I do have a drink, I make sure I splurge on some good stuff. Years ago, I fell out of love with alcohol, and then I realized I had just been drinking a lot of cheap stuff. Story 29. Some of the funniest conversations and best moments come from being moderately intoxicated. It releases tensions, and people feel more free to express themselves. Story 30. I really like the taste of rum and Coke, and it absolutely improves my social skills. If it does not improve them, at least it makes me stop worrying about them. I am one of those people who really become funnier and more positive with some alcohol in the system. Story 31. I'm a cocktail enthusiast who doesn't like to get drunk. So I'm being very serious when I say it's the flavor. Not literally the flavor of alcohol, you won't find any vodka in my bar. But alcohol can dissolve and hold more powerful and concentrated flavors than basically anything else you would put in your body. I find the potent and complex flavors of different spirits, liqueurs, and bitters to be very interesting. And a good cocktail can elevate and lengthen those flavors so you can experience every little note, twist, and contrast. As much as I love the experience of cocktails, I equally love the ritual of making them, creating my own ingredients, and sharing my creations with others. A good cocktail is revelatory to many who have never had anything but cheaply made and horribly balanced bar drinks. It's not exactly a cheap hobby, though, so I see why good spirits are so rarely experienced by most people. I make good mocktails too, though I will say it's extremely difficult to get anything close to as complex and flavorful drinks without any alcohol. Even a little bitters vastly improve most things. Story 32. Usually, I am a very serious, reserved person, but get a drink or two in me and I relax and say outrageous things. Makes my spouse laugh even if no one else does. Story 33. It's relaxing, everything is funnier. And it creates good memories and stories if you drink with friends. Some of my best friends became way closer after a night of drinking together. Story 34. Personally, I like the taste and get excited when a bar has something I've never tried, like a cocktail they've created. Also, when I'm somewhere where I don't know a lot of the people, it helps with my social anxiety. Story 35. It makes all the bad things go away. It shuts out all the chaos in my head, so that I can finally be present without attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and anxiety messing me up. It always makes me feel amazing without having to do anything else but drink it. It makes saying, "Forget it, we'll see," seem like a great option. It makes all my fears about consequences and the future disappear. It makes me confident enough to become friends with anyone. It allows me to be the person I love. Excited, cheerful, curious, focused, fun, happy, outgoing, smiling, attractive, empathetic. All the bad traits and sadness are gone. It makes any conversation at worst entertaining and at best exhilarating. It makes literally any activity feel awesome. It makes music, television, walks, art, books, plane rides, train rides, writing, thinking, drawing, dancing, singing, eating, smoking, gaming, drumming, being a disc jockey, writing, laughing, crying, sex, love. More intense, more present, more beautiful, more good. Too bad it also harms our health severely. Too bad it became an addiction. Too bad I can't stop once I start. Too bad I'm an alcoholic. Story 36. I have bipolar disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Alcohol makes me slightly more stupid and slightly less tense. I tend to be extremely stressed all the time, weed helps a little. Alcohol, 1 to 2 drinks worth of a buzz, also helps with letting go a bit. However, I did curb it heavily because the dehydration is pretty intolerable for me. Right now, I might have a couple of shots and then cradle a drink every 30 minutes to maintain a nice buzz throughout the night. If at any time I lose the buzz, I just quit drinking for the night. It's not worth getting the buzz back for me. Story 37. Because I actually enjoy the taste of dark beers or a good cocktail. 1 to 2 drinks is enough to feel relaxed without feeling sick or having a hangover the next day. Story 38. In between those things, you forget your problems and loosen up. When you get into alcoholic-level drinking, it becomes a way to just ignore everything. Story 39. Some of my fondest memories involve alcohol, whether I am drinking myself or someone else is drinking. It allows me to relax and have fun when it would be difficult otherwise. Story 40. I enjoy the taste of bourbon and various wheat alesh. I don't enjoy alcohol for its own sake. I don't drink to cope, I don't drink at home alone, and I haven't been properly drunk since my early 20s. Some of you really need to question your drinking habits. Story 41. From time to time I do, but with all things in life, it all comes down to moderation. Feeling the right amount of being drunk is perfect and good fun on a night out. Drinking too much will take the fun out of everything. Story 42. I used to drink a lot more than I do now. Back then, I liked it because I have some undiagnosed neurological issues, and the alcohol made my head quieter and also helped make the blues less severe in the moment I was drinking. After the fact was a different story, mind you. Now I drink rarely and am drunk almost never. I love a glass of decent red wine with a great meal, a cold beer after a day of working outside in the summer, or a shared cup of mezcal to celebrate a special event, serving as a punctuation to a moment. The moments are no less special without it, and these days there are more of them observed without alcohol than with alcohol. But I like it for that. Story 43. It's easier to slam on concrete versus not being sauced up like a wing. A few beers and some skateboarding go hand in hand when skating transition or street. Story 44. I've only been drinking a hard kombucha or two when I skate, and it makes me better. It really can be liquid courage. I'll try things I normally wouldn't, and I'm looser. Story 45. It helps me relax. I'm high-strung, and that's good, but it can be a lot in moments I don't need it. It's the one legal way on a Saturday I can let go and not feel like I have to keep myself completely together. Story 46. I seem to find myself talking to strangers without any prejudice, and I have a sense of living outside my body. I take a step back and just see how things unravel. Story 47. I don't drink very much, but I do find it's the only way to tolerate the presence of drunk people. Somehow, having alcohol in the bloodstream enables one to translate the inane nonsense the people around you are constantly spewing into whatever it is your brain enjoys listening to. Also, for some reason, having alcohol in your bloodstream makes the idea of having another drink seem like an enjoyable idea. And it is pretty fun to dance like a fool and celebrate life with your friends once in a while. But generally, it just feels like a massive waste of time, money, and opportunity cost of coherent brain power. The main thing is moderation. It's more fun to drink infrequently than to put in shift after shift getting slowly numb and keeping the dust off a bar seat.